Hey everyone, it's Kate. We've got an agenda today. The first thing is the Frugal Tip of the week. The second thing is the KSquad member comment of the week. And last but not least, the question of the week. Let's get right into it. The Frugal Tip of the week is clean up that wallet. Clean it up because there is some suspicion that a sloppy wallet equals sloppy finances. Does anybody think that might be true or not true at all? Let me explain. I was watching a Susie Orman clip the other day and it reinforced what I talked about in a mindset video. I will leave that video at the very end of this video to watch after this one, but in it I talked about keeping your wallet nice and neat and respecting your money. There's not a ton to this, but let's just think about it. Susie Orman was on Oprah and I was watching her. She asked somebody to take out their wallet. So they took out their wallet and there was just wads of money crumpled up, receipts, just stuff flying everywhere. And so she just grabbed a random clump and she was like, "How much money is in here?" And the audience member was like, "I have no idea." The woman was completely oblivious to what was going on in her wallet. This sometimes translates to people not knowing what's going on in their finances in the big picture. So this is what I'm going to recommend. When your wallet opens, you should have your cards lined up neatly, your money organized, just as I have. They're all facing the same way. See how look, this looks like I have a lot of money. I just happen to have some cash on me. But you see how they're all facing the same way? So this even bothers me right here, that there's a little, I will try to flatten that out. Don't worry, I'm not gonna get my iron out. Just kidding, everybody knows I don't own an iron. But you put them neatly, facing the same way, and you put them nice and neatly, and that's just showing that I care about you. I value you. If I crumple it up and throw it in here, that's telling the universe something else. And it's also just kind of a reflection about how you feel about money. You don't care about it, you don't take care of it. So the frugal tip of the week, take care of your money. Be a little bit more organized with it, value it, and more will come your way. Next, sound the trumpet, bum-ba-da-bum. KSquad member comment of the week. Who will it be? This week's comment comes from Kat Godfrey. No, I didn't pick it just because her name is Kat. Okay, secretly maybe just a little. Just kidding. Kat Godfrey has been a loyal Kaden subscriber and KSquad member, and I appreciate you so much, Kat. This comment is from my slow living video that I posted last week. If you haven't seen it yet, type in Kaden slow living in the search bar and you will find it. And we were talking about all the slow living activities that really bring us peace and joy and happiness and like a slower pace and all the things that are so enjoyable that are not hurried, you know? Kat says, "Love your hair." Thanks, Kat. "I love spending time with my pets, naps, and reading." Big smiley face. Those are some of my favorites also. Kat, thank you so much for being a loyal KSquad member. I appreciate you being here week in and week out. Thank you so much for commenting on my last video. And now, the KSquad question of the week. Oh my gosh, so this is really embarrassing actually though, just so you know. A while ago, I posted, "Do you have any questions?" Now this is a while ago. When I say a while ago, I mean a while ago. And for some reason, I had my settings weird and I didn't see any of these questions, literally none of the questions. And then recently I came across all the questions that I hadn't even hearted, hadn't responded, and I was mortified. So I'm going to attempt to, over the weeks, answer these questions if I can, okay? This question came from Vegan Cookie Monsters X. They said, "Love your channel. I'm in the UK. How do you handle unexpected bills? For example, vet bills, that kind of thing." Vegan Cookie Monsters X, that's a great question. a great question, and I had to actually think about how I was gonna phrase this so I don't confuse anybody. All right, so back in the day, I shared with you that I have a budget buffer. I will also leave that video at the very end of this one so that you can watch the money mindset tricks and this video on budget buffer, because the budget buffer is essential for me and my budget. And if you don't know about it yet, I highly recommend you go watch it. If you haven't seen that video and you watch it and you don't like it, then you probably won't like me, because I watched it just this morning and I was kind of laughing at my own jokes. Like, that is completely my sense of humor, and I hope I delivered the information in a way that was helpful, but like, that's completely my personality. And if you haven't watched it yet, check it out. But more importantly, the value of the budget buffer. What is a budget buffer? A budget buffer is a lump of money that's in your checking account in case stuff happens, because stuff happens. Ultimately, you want to have at least a month's worth of expenses in there. So if you overdraft, if you underestimate something, which you guys never do, right? Because you've got your budget real tight, right? It happens to everybody. So if you have a budget buffer, it's going to catch in case stuff happens and you go a little bit over an unexpected, or maybe something gets pulled out of your checking unexpectedly. Again, hopefully you're monitoring your checking every day like I do, but maybe for some reason you don't. The budget buffer is... How many videos am I talking and my cat just starts crying at the top of his lungs? Buns! Buns? In that video, I said if you can do 1, maybe even up to 3 months expenses, and you're probably thinking like, what are we building, a whole other emergency fund? And the answer is kind of. Your emergency fund in my mind is whatever you choose. 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, whatever you have aside, that's untouchable. You do not touch it unless it's an emergency. The budget buffer is kind of like a mini one that you can touch. It is there for buffing purposes, okay? So the answer to this question, Vegan Cookie Monsters X, is I keep 1 to 3 months in my budget buffer, and if something unexpected happens, I'll pull from the buffer. I try not to touch, if you only have 1 month, I try not to cut into that too much, but most of the time, you're not gonna have something that's gonna overdraft your whole month expenses, you know what I mean? It's not gonna go that far, but I've got the budget buffer built in that I can use in case something unexpected happens, so I don't have to stress about it. If you don't have an emergency fund yet, everyone that's watching this, I would highly recommend working on that. Emergency fund to me is everything. I have several videos on it. Just type in the search bar, Kaden Emergency Fund, if you wanna have some tips and some directions and inspiration on getting that, because the emergency fund to me is so important. But the budget buffer is more than just a buffer. It's kind of like a mini savings account. But again, I don't want that to get complicated, but just know, watch that video. And if I have something that comes up and I'm kind of in a pinch, the buffer is there to save you. If you've made it to this point in the video, please take a second, go down in the comments and type in Frugal Family, because you are a part of this Frugal family and I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you come back week after week for more Frugal tips. If you don't mind, tap that like button real quick. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified each time I upload. Bun says hey. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next week. Bye. Oh, and to make things easy, I'm going to leave a video for you right here and right here to check out next. Okay, I'm really going to go this time. Bye guys.